Greetings. If you're looking to take your first step into the world of business intelligence, you're probably wondering about costs. Now let's create a quick checklist together to ensure that you're considering all of the possible expenses for an enterprise BI project. A great man once said it best.
Shall we begin?
I wish I had that voice. I'm Jeff, and this is Off the Charts with Jeff. I'll try to create sort of a map and list in a reasonable order to give you some of my thoughts to consider at each point. Let's start with evaluation. What is your time frame going to be like to evaluate BI vendors? Are you looking to research ahead to figure out your requirements, or are you going to pick 15 vendors and do a proof of concept with each of them, all of them connecting to your data and building dashboards? Well, depending on your evaluation strategy, you could potentially be paying more than the entire first year of licensing costs on evaluations in soft cost. I've certainly seen it. I'd recommend that you develop a concrete evaluation criteria and plan, timeline, and stick to it. You can get your soft costs in control by actually creating a plan now. This is definitely better if you have a firm grasp on your needs and evaluate tools on their ability to execute. Also, I highly suggest that you avoid all the jargon and concepts created by the various million-dollar marketing entities out there. 90% of you don't have to worry about things like dark data, and even having these conversations will just complicate things further for you. Now, the next area is an obvious one, and that's licensing costs. Once you've chosen a product, you'll most certainly be paying for it, but there's certainly going to be hidden costs that you need to investigate. Are you getting a full or trimmed down version of the product? You might also see these worded as a desktop or server version, or professional versus enterprise. There can also be additional costs for things like data volume or number of users opening content, or access to the APIs to extend and integrate the product. Do you pay for each data connector? Are there different products offered, each to solve a different part of the solution that you need to purchase? You gotta do your diligence here, as the hidden costs can certainly add up if you don't. Then you've got hardware and infrastructure. These days, many BI vendors are moving to the cloud, but certain people have sensitive data and regulations to meet. And there's certainly 3 options when it comes to hosting, with trade-offs for each. Now you've got hosted by the BI vendor. There's usually some kind of baked-in cost for this, and you have to be diligent about data security. Who's going to get access to your data? You've got self-hosted, where you would pay someone like an Amazon cloud and install the software there yourself. Now, of course, you're going to be paying Amazon, but you're going to save out on the IT costs. And then you've got on-premise, where you'll have to procure some hardware and have your IT team deal with maintenance and backup strategies. So all great options, but you need to make sure you understand the costs and the implications for each. Also, don't forget about the installation costs. Some BI products out there are so complex that it will typically have a cost for them to install it for you. This is not the case for all vendors, but you should certainly know the complexity of the installation you're about to begin with. Now, another big one that you should consider is support costs. And what level of support are you going to get? Just access to forums? Are you getting breaking change support, where assistance is only provided if you discover a bug? Or are you actually getting access to real people who can consult and are invested in your project? There are different levels of support available, depending on who you go with. Some BI vendors have general or premium or dedicated support, but make sure you're getting something that's going to meet your specific needs. Also, I'd recommend inquiring about the support team's location, as offshore or outsourced support isn't the same as support coming directly from the company that built the product. Then there's training. Training can range from online documentation to self-service to instructor-led courses. If you're not ensuring that your people are adequately trained, you're essentially cutting away potential functionality that your software supports that you don't get access to simply because your people don't know how to use it. Training is an important one that you got to look at. Labor costs. Those interested in business intelligence and data analytics often evaluate licenses and fail to consider the indirect cost beyond that. Now, how long is it going to take you to complete the project after you've been trained? Is the tool flexible enough to meet your final needs, or is it easy and will have you running right out of the gates, only to go straight into a wall not long after you start. If you do hit a wall, your labor costs can explode because of the amount of time you're now investing looking for alternative solutions to specific problems. Now, instead of investing your own people's time, you might also consider paid consulting to get the project moving. Consultants can bring a lot of value, as there's a lot less guesswork for your people who are new to a BI application. One of the best scenarios that I've seen is where consultants come in and jumpstart your project. You get them in for the first couple of dashboards and reports, create kind of a gold standard for everybody else to work towards. Now, you don't have to have consultants forever, as most companies are kind of trending towards in-house development, but it's undoubtedly an excellent way to get a leg up on a project and ensure its success. Just remember, the intro price that you see is seldom going to be the final price, so do your diligence and make sure that you're asking the right questions. Also, as you can see, there are many areas to explore when it comes to the total ownership of business intelligence, and you can certainly use this map as a starting point. But it's a continually evolving landscape. Hopefully this has been something that's helpful to you, and if you're interested in learning more about cost, check out a video that I did called A Simple Way to Calculate the ROI of Business Intelligence. This is a great video as it creates sort of a what-if style dashboard to try to predict your ROI in business intelligence using a BI tool. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.